All right, good afternoon, everybody. This is Robert at Scott Leroy Marketing. We're going to get started with our overview of KWConnect, and we're also going to be focusing a little bit on the referrals section inside KWConnect. We're going to spend a good bit of time on that. I never did hear back from my sound check, so what I'd like to do before we get started is if you would go up to the very top of your screen, you should have these same 5 buttons that I do. If you'll click on this one that's to the left of center, it looks like a speech bubble. It'll pop up your chat window. If you would let me know here in this chat window whether you can or can't hear me. I guess if you can't hear me, you wouldn't hear it. But if you would let me know whether you can hear me, I'd really appreciate that, just so that I'm not speaking to an empty room. There we go. Number 10 says they can hear me. I appreciate that. Okay, so we'll get started. Our first step to accessing KWConnect is actually going to be getting logged into MyKW. You can log directly into KWConnect.com, but it's actually even easier to do it through MyKW because there's a single sign-on situation back and forth between the two. And so it's best just to log into mykw.kw.com first. So once you're on your MyKW homepage, oh, by the way, I want to point out this class is relatively new. We've only done it about a handful of times at this point. So I'm going to cover what I think is important at this point, but definitely chime in that chat window that I just showed you guys with your questions. There's a lot of content and stuff inside KWConnect, and what I think is important may not be what you think is important. So definitely let me know in the chat window if there's something that you're unclear on or something that you want to cover that we haven't. I am going to cover the majority of what's able to be found in KWConnect, but I am going to have to skip some stuff for time reasons. So if there's anything that we haven't covered that you want to, definitely let me know there. Also, this class is being recorded. That should be available within just a couple of hours, as long as I don't get too busy with other stuff, on slmtraining.com. So if you're watching this now and you missed something or you have to leave, definitely check back at slmtraining.com later today and it should be there. And then this is for people that might have trouble listening on their computer, instructions to call in. Okay, once we're on our MyKW homepage, all we're going to do is click on Education up here in the top menu. This used to have a drop down, but that's been removed and all that content has been moved here into KWConnect. So when we click on that, it's going to take us directly into KWConnect. And it sort of looks like you do want to accept the cookies, just so we get rid of that annoying banner. And you do have to do that every time you come into KWConnect, unfortunately. So it sort of looks like you might be not logged in. It'll show you this login button here. But if we click up here on the KWConnect logo, that's going to take us to the home page. We were on the KWU page, which we're going to go over later, but we're going to start here on the home page instead. And anytime you click on that KWConnect logo, this is where it's going to take you, is to this home page. We're going to do a quick overview of what's on this page specifically in just a couple of minutes, but before that I want to go over some of the stuff that we're going to be covering later. So first we're going to cover what's on the home page here, and we'll do that in just a minute. Then we're going to sort of work our way across this menu as quickly as I can. I will be focusing on some individual parts of this for a couple of minutes, but I'm going to cover this as quickly as I can because there's a lot to cover here in this My Referrals section. So we'll cover the rest of it as quickly as we can. And then I also want to make sure to cover this My Profile section here because that's connected to the My Referrals and to Kelly, which I know everybody's excited about. It's what everybody wants to know about, and that's what we're going to cover. So here on the home page, just starting at the top again, we've got that logo. You click on it, it takes you to the home page. Then we've got our menu here, and you can access most of the things that are in KWConnect via this menu. You've got lots of drop downs that come down when you hover over stuff. To the right of this menu, we've got this little magnifying glass. This is the universal symbol for search. Anytime you see a magnifying glass, that means you're going to be searching whatever platform it is that you're on, whether it's KWConnect or Google or anywhere else. Magnifying glass means search. So if you click on that, it's going to pop out a search bar in place of that menu. And you can type what you want to learn about. You can choose the different kinds of searches that are in here, whether it's content or users that you're looking for. And then you can click search to start searching whatever you typed in. If you click this magnifying glass again, it'll hide that search bar and you'll have this menu back. Over on the right here, we've got this couple of buttons here. This upload button is for your content that you want to put in here in KWConnect. So if you have a great maybe listing presentation you want to share with other agents so that they can have a template to use for theirs, if you have a for sale by owner script or a foreclosure script or something like that that you want to share with other agents, you can do that via this upload button as well. And the three types of content you can upload are videos, or excuse me, four types: videos, documents, links, or audio. I listed audio last, even though it's similar to video, because almost nobody does audio, so you can pretty much ignore that one. But if you've got a video talking about your script, or you've got a sample walkthrough of a house that you do or something like that, definitely upload that video here so that you can help other agents grow their business. If you have a document you want to share, like I said, maybe that listing presentation or a written out script to use or something like that, you can do that. And then also links is links to maybe YouTube videos or content on your website, or maybe something you shared on your LinkedIn or something like that that's exterior to this site. You can share links to those other sites as well. And then over here on the right, we've got your little picture or maybe your initials up here if you don't have a picture. This is where we're going to access your profile, and we're going to do that later. Underneath the menu here on the home page, and this is just on the home page, it's not on other pages, there's another search bar. This is the same search bar that comes up here. It's just if you were on a different page, you would only be able to access the search bar here. It wouldn't be here under the menu. But on the home page, this is where it is also. Under that, they've got a ticker here for agents that have come to KW, very high producing agents that have come to KW from other companies. It shows their name, their production, what market center they joined, and then what company they came from. And if you click on their names, it's going to take you to their profile here within KWConnect. So you can see any kind of content that they might have shared, any videos or scripts or anything like that. A lot of $28 million producers. Apparently that's a very common number, 26, 28. Anyway, under that, these slideshows here are basically quote-unquote ads for content that's here in KWConnect. Some of them are classes that you would need to pay for, but a lot of them are free content that's just right here in KWConnect that they want to make sure that people are aware of. This KW Tech Roadshow, Labs Unleashed, that's an in-person event that they're doing around the country. Scripts for Keller Mortgage here. KW Media Room, that's apparently KW is trending across social media as far as real estate goes. This month at KW for September 28th, that's a video. So that's really important information that KW International wants you to see. Under here, this homepage content, I have yet to figure out how these get put up here, whether they're just the newest content or they're new from people who are popular, people that have a lot of followers here in KWConnect, or whether they have been liked a lot, although I guess that's not the case because this has 0 likes, or whether it's from KW International or something like that. I don't know how this gets arranged, but this is apparently featured content here on the homepage. Now, one thing to point out about this is these same controls at the top of this list are the same ones that you can see on your search results, which we're going to be looking at later. And you can filter by the different types of contents, whether it's a video, audio file, a document that you uploaded, maybe an image, or I forgot to cover that. That's an image that you can upload as well, or a link to an external resource. You can also change whether you want to see content from, what is it called, KW Associates, or from KW International, or both. By default, this is going to show both. If you click one of these, it's going to turn that off. It's going to turn it from red to gray. And now it's on Associate only. So only content from Associates is going to be shown here. If we turn this back on and then uncheck the Associates, it's going to be KWRI only, and that's going to be content from KW International, just to show you what that looks like. And those sim controls, like I said, are going to be on the search page as well. And then moving down here, upcoming courses here, this is pulling from that global calendar from all of KW. So in any market center, anywhere, as long as they have their, what are they called? Events in their market center intranet, which moves over here to the KWConnect calendar. All of those classes are going to be found here in this calendar, and it's showing you what's coming up soon. So we've got several market centers that are starting Ignite soon, or have additional Ignite classes coming soon. And there are a lot more coming up in the next couple of days. You can see the rest of those there on the full calendar. And then down here are trending searches and recommendations for what to watch. I believe this is just handpicked content from KW International about what they think is important for you to watch. Coming back up here to the top, we're going to skip this menu section for right now and instead jump over here to the profile because, like I said, this is fairly important. It's connected to that referral system, which we're going to be covering fairly in depth later. So let's hover over your picture or your initials up here in the top right, and we'll click on My Profile. There we go. So I'm logged in as Scott here. This is Scott's profile. It's got his picture, his banner image. I didn't mean to click that. Hold on. Go back. There we go. His picture, his banner image, his bio, his stats, his service area, and his memberships down here. You control most of this information here. Just you decide what displays in this profile for other agents to see as they're searching for a referral. And that's what this is for. This profile is KW only. Public clients are not seeing this. This is for other KW agents to see when they're searching for a referral in potentially your service area. So you're not going to put the same things on here as you would for public clients viewing. So you can see the full bio here. You can see stats from the last 12 months. And if you click and drag, you can scroll through that service area and then memberships. So I'll show you a little bit more about controlling this information in just a second. We're going to click on Edit My Profile. That's where you can edit all of that. And here's where you can change your picture, your bio, and all that stuff. Starting at the top, uploading your photo, that was that one that was in the circle. So you can upload your picture right here in this spot. Dimensions aren't important. You just put in your picture and it would put it in that circle. Down here for this banner image though, if I go back real quick, this banner image right here, this digital marketing expert, Scott Leroy Marketing, this is the banner image. And one thing to point out is that this is very, very, very exacting. It has to be exactly 1,920 pixels wide by 313 pixels tall. 1920 wide, 313 tall. Cannot be any larger or smaller in either dimension. If it's 1921 wide, it won't accept it. If it's 312 high, it won't accept it. It has to be exactly these dimensions. And if you want help cropping your banner image to be those exact dimensions, we actually have a class specifically for that. If you'll shoot us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com, we can get you that information. Under here is the contact email that's going to be notified if someone sends you a referral request or subscribes to your content here in KWConnect. It's also going to display on your profile when someone is searching for a referral. Same here for the phone number, the phone and the mobile phone. I don't know why there are separate fields for this still at this point. Everybody's business phone is their mobile phone. I don't know why there are separate fields, but you can have those separately there. Service area right here, Orlando, Central Florida. This is, again, for other agents to see. You don't want to list every city in your entire MLS area where you've got 36 cities in this section. You want to show other agents where you primarily work, where you are the local expert, for them to send you the, potentially send you referrals. What am I trying to say here? Basically, that's an inverse law here. The more service areas you have in this box, the less likely you are to get referrals, because other agents know that, no, you cannot be a specialist in 36 different cities. That's not possible. You might be a specialist in 2 or 3 cities, and if you and so that makes you more attracted to other agents to send that referral to. There's no way for you to be a specialist in 36 different areas. So you want to put in your primary service area right here. This bio here, again, is for other agents to see. This is not public for clients. So this bio can be different than the one that's on your other profiles. For your social media links here, these do need the full http://www, the full address here. And if you need help finding these social media links, we have a class for that also. You can shoot us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com and we can send that to you as well. Let me add a note here to add those 2 links here. I don't have those looked up right now, but I will definitely look those up before I do this class next month. We do this class the 4th Wednesday of the month, so we should be doing this next month just fine. Come down here to custom tags. This is again, this is not related to the referral system, and it's not anything public clients are going to see. This is not going to be on any search engines except here in KWConnect. These tags are what your content is related to. So videos that you upload, documents that you share, links that you share. If you put anything here on KWConnect for other agents to use, you want to put in tags for what your content relates to. If you put in here fsbo and you have never uploaded anything related to a fsbo, that's not correct. You want to put in tags that are correct, that actually apply to your content that you put here in KWConnect. This is not a popularity contest. You're not trying to get, quote unquote, as many views as you can here in KWConnect. You're trying to help other agents build their business by showing things that have been proven to build your business, and you want that to be correct tags here. And then down here for primary market center, this is for if you are a member of more than one market center, you would want to select the market center that you work out of primarily. If you're a member of just one market center, you're not going to have additional options in this dropdown. You just only have your one market center. But if you work in multiple areas and there's one that you work in primarily, you would select that one here. Under that, we've got our email frequency. This is notifications for a couple of things, actually. This is for when you receive a referral network request from another agent, from when you receive a referral from another agent, and when someone interacts with your content or your creator profile here in KWConnect. So if someone likes one of your videos or they subscribe to your content so that they can get notified of that in the future when you put up new content, you'll get emails about all of those things. You can't turn those emails off completely. You can either send a notification for each update, so every time someone follows you or every time someone sends you a referral request. You can do that every day, so it sends you a summary of everything that happened in that one day, or you can do that weekly in the same style. Under that, you remember those statistics that was showing for Scott, his production numbers, basically closed units, buy, sell, lease, volume, all that stuff. This is where you control those things. You would turn the sliders on or off for whichever numbers you do or don't want shown on your profile. Now, if you're a member of a team and you have this turned on to yes, but it's not actually showing your team name on your profile, that comes from your Win More profile. It's actually not something you have access to edit. That would be something that you'd need to contact your MCA about. Your MCA needs to update that in your Win More profile, add your team name in there. That's where that comes in. And then after you've made any changes, you can either click update down here at the bottom or up at the very top. Both of those buttons save those changes. I'll pause for just a second here. Does anybody have any questions so far before we move on? And I am talking literally 1 second, 1 Mississippi. Okay, if you have questions, go ahead and send them over in the chat window. I showed you guys how to open that at the beginning of the class. It looks like actually we've had a lot more people join since then, so let me show you that again. Up at the top of your screen, you should have these same 5 buttons I do. If you click on this little speech bubble icon just to the left of center, that'll open up your chat window, and if you have questions, you can type them to me here in this box. Move that back down. Okay. All right, let's go back to our KWConnect homepage. And we're going to go across this menu really quickly. Memberships is, what am I talking about here? You can see, what are they called? Divisions of KW that you're a member of, and you can look at joining other divisions of KW. And this is basically luxury, commercial, farm and ranch, CIPS. That's basically it. I think actually maybe it also has some of the MAPS coaching memberships in there also. Over here, we've got calendar. This is fairly neat. This calendar collects all the information for all the classes that are going on all the market centers everywhere. And it looks like I've got this filtered to just have one market center showing right here. Not a big deal. Or one region, I think. And so I do want to show you over here under advanced filters. This is showing just right now all market center events. So this is in all market centers. So this is showing events going on everywhere. You can filter this instead by KWRI Learning Center. So that's over in Austin. My region, excuse me. So this is events hosted by your region specifically. All regional events, so that's from your region and from market centers in your region. This is from your market center, so just events that are going on locally. Events in every market center everywhere, and then KW commercial events. Owner, you can pretty much ignore. You're not going to really be managing many events in here, especially because the vast majority of these events come from the Market Center intranet calendar. I don't even know why they have this in here. And then what type of event are you looking for? A class, an ALC meeting, a team meeting, a leadership consultation, a live stream, or other. And that's not going to happen super often. So we're going to leave class checked, and instead of bold, I'm going to put in here Ignite. And I'm going to do, there we go, I'll click that, choose that. And we're going to do my Market Center. And then I'm going to, by connection. So is this an online class or is it an in-person class? And then we'll apply filter. And this is going to show me Ignite at my local Market Center, which apparently is not happening in September or October. Not sure what's happening there. Let me do regional events. There we go. Somebody finally is hosting Ignite on, what is this, October 8th. This is number 3. This is going to be in, let's see, Boca Raton. So you can find other classes that are going on in market centers near you if you wanted to, if your market center isn't hosting that class soon. All right. Coming over to resources, KWConnect Live is just like it sounds. It's live videos, live classes that are being hosted here on KWConnect on various topics. Let me open this up here. So this is the schedule for what's going on. So using KW Video, Tech Revolution All In for the Agent, Tech Setup Live Stream, Tech Orientation Live Stream. These actually sound pretty similar to our classes. Leveraging Kelly, what's going on in labs. Definitely want to check that one out. 2019 forecast model, business planning clinic. So there's a lot of live stuff going on from KW International here in the KW Connect Live series. Culture is, to summarize it, if you guys don't know who Mo Anderson is, you definitely need to look her up. She is the culture director at KW. And culture basically means the way that KW and its associates interact with people. And that's interacting with other associates within the company and interacting with people outside the company. So maybe family members or the community, or, say over on the East Coast where there was the hurricane and, damage and all that stuff. So culture encompasses all of that, the way that KW interacts with people. So that's KW Cares. That's, I don't even remember what else is in there. Wealth building, that is profit share, wellness, kids can, red relief, red day, that's every year, third Thursday in May, second Thursday in May, one of those. Events is what's going on, the big events from KW International. So family reunion, mega camp, masterminds, all that fun stuff. You can learn about those there. Industry is how KW is working within the industry directly, how KW International leadership is working with, like MLSs or Zillow or whatever other industry leaders to basically provide the best solutions for KW agents. They're working on your behalf in the industry to make things either easier or more profitable for you. I remember a year or two ago that KW is starting to push for, instead of MLSs having all of the listing data, keeping that in control of the agent, something like that. Keller Mortgage is, it's a new thing from KW International. They've opened their own mortgage company. It's only available in select market centers right now, and only to agents that have gone through a course and I believe a test for it. If you want more information about that, definitely check that out there. We are going to go here into KWU. KWU stands for Keller Williams University, and this is where you can find all of the official classes from KW International, all the resources for those. The most common one, the one that most people are going to look for, is here, Ignite. So you can find all the resources for that. But then if you click on courses here, you can see the full list of courses that KW International has for agents and leadership and everybody to take advantage of. There's a lot of classes in here. Again, Ignite is in here. This is sorted by default by alphabetically, so you can find those resources in there. You've also got your Lunch and Learn classes, your 30, 60, 90. Actually, I don't know what 30, 60, 90 is, but ALC clinic stuff, expansion systems orientation. So I'm going to click into Ignite just to show you what this looks like. So if you're taking your Ignite class, you can either purchase a physical printed copy of all the resources that you're going to need for Ignite, all the worksheets and all of that stuff, or you can find them for free here in KWConnect, and you only print what you need. Depending on your market center and what kind of relationship they have with the printer, it may cost $40 or more for you to buy that full printed book, or you can just print out the materials that you need and read what you need here online instead. So down here we've got student resources, instructor resources, and My Tracker. Your Ignite instructor can tell you more about My Tracker, but for the student and instructor resources, this is all of your work materials. This is what's going to be in that printed book. And they've got this separated here into the different power sessions, all 12 of them, and you can click on the different missions and the manuals and everything to find all of that content there. They do have it separated into US and Canada also. Okay. MAPS coaching, just like it sounds, you can get into MAPS coaching there, whether it's individual coaching, group coaching, mastery coaching, all of that fun stuff. Marketing is where you can find different materials from KW International. So logos and branding, you've got a listing presentation template from KW International. Red label is KW clothing, basically. Out front is the KW magazine, talking about how KW is impacting the industry. Templates for press releases. So say, you're opening a new market center, or you've moved to KW from a different brokerage, or you've got an open house and you want to get that out to the newspaper, templates for that. Social media templates and ideas and things like that. And then resources for leadership to support your implementation of the growth initiative. The one I want to point out right here is the logos and branding. If you're ever curious about how to find your specific market center logo, you would scroll down this page just a little bit and you can search for your market center name or number. Like 196 is Pensacola that I'm from. You can download the full pack of different logo styles here. So you can do that for pretty much any market center. If your market center isn't listed here, like Bothell is not in here, but it's, I forgot the name of Bothell. Bothell's in Washington, by the way. 754 is the market center number. It's got a different name there. That's the different official name that KW International has. So you can try searching that way. And then if you can't find your logo at all, you'd actually have to have your market center leadership reach out to KW International to have a logo added in this section. You can also see the style guide that has all the rules and regulations for how you can use the KW logo, what colors everything needs to be, what to do for signs, what to do for business cards, what to do for name tags. It has all the rules for those things. Back up under resources, we've got resources for MCAs, so like Account Edge or Win More or MC Angels, things like that. Technology. There we go. We've got the different sections of KW technology here. Keller Cloud, which is still very much being worked on, same for labs. The referrals section, using Kelly, using KWConnect here, using CGI, using the app, KWLS, KW Video, setting up your KW technology, which if you work with us, we did for you. Listing and productivity tools, and then security for your technology. So definitely check those out. Leverage is another word for hiring in KW. Leverage equals hiring. That means leveraging your time as the producer, as the person who's doing dollar producing activities, getting in front of clients in the form of hiring people to do the things that are not necessarily dollar producing or aren't on your high priority list for dollar producing. So that's talking about hiring admins, hiring buyer's agents, hiring this, that, and the other. That's what leverage means. It's hiring. And then profit share is the system within KW by which agents who help build the company are rewarded. So quick rundown of profit share. Say I joined KW. When I joined KW, which I have joined KW, but when I joined KW, I named a sponsor. This is the person who was most influential for bringing me into KW. It was either the first person I talked to, or the last person I talked to, or the person I talked to most. It's whoever helped me reach the tipping point of joining KW. As I get into production and I produce income for the market center, as the market center generates profit, after they pay their bills, after they pay the market center staff and all those things, anything extra is considered profit for that market center. If I contributed to that profit, some of that profit goes back to my sponsor as a reward for bringing me into the company and me getting into production. So this is not commission sharing. It's not my sponsor getting part of my commission that goes to me. That's not it at all. It's anything that the Market Center has extra at the end of the month. Part of that goes to my sponsor. Okay. Ask Agents is a forum. It's turned into something that it's not supposed to be. It's turned into basically a referrals broadcast, people asking for referrals in an area, or they've got this referral that they want to send to somebody. It's not what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be asking questions about how to conduct business, how to be a real estate agent. You know, like, why don't you share your FSBO script? Or how do I handle, you know, this hesitant buyer? Or how do I handle this person who has looked at 3 dozen houses and I don't want to work with them anymore? That kind of thing. It's asking agents things about working with people, basically. Okay, where am I? Ask Kelly is not an actual page where you're going to be able to work with Kelly here in KWConnect. It's information on using Kelly. So number one is get the app. So if you missed last week's class on using Kelly, definitely go check that out. SlmTraining.com. We worked on that last week. My referrals is where we're going to spend the rest of the class here, but then we also want to cover growth here. The Career Growth Initiative is the newest growth initiative from KW International. It started with the actual growth initiative. So we're doing okay on time. Let me talk about the growth initiative and the career growth initiative, because I feel like this is very, very underutilized, and it could be a game-changing thing if everybody did this. Excuse me. So the growth initiative was introduced several years ago, I think it's like 8 or 9 years ago, for team leaders. It was something that team leaders were committed to in as far as growing the company. It's how KW went to the #1 largest company in the country by agent count. That was the growth initiative that was bringing agents into the company. There were different, what are they called, requirements in place for team leaders. And the way that worked was KW International said to team leaders, okay, we would like for you to go on 40 appointments with agents that you'd like to bring into the Market Center per month. And team leaders went, you're crazy. How on earth is that supposed to happen? And then KW International said, furthermore, we'd like 10 of those agents that you meet with to join every month. And team leaders' eyes bugged out and they said, you're even crazier. And then they said, furthermore, we would like 7 out of 10 agents that you bring into the Market Center to stay each month. We want to have a net of 7 agents. And what are they called? Team leaders just passed out. They didn't know what to do. But KW International provided tools for meeting those goals. They provided what's called LORE, the LORE system, which is language of real estate, talking about how KW is impacting the market, how KW is doing better than the market as an attraction point for agents. They introduced scripts, they introduced pipeline tools, all of this stuff for team leaders to bring in more agents to the company. And it worked. And now team leaders, 40 is the minimum number of appointments. If you aren't reaching 40 appointments as a team leader per month, you're not doing great. So it sounded crazy at the beginning, but it worked, and it helped KW to be the company that it is now. They translated those same tools and those same ideas into the Career Growth Initiative, which starts with how much money do you want to make in a year? How much money do you want in the bank? Profit, after taxes, after your commission split, after your expenses, how much money do you want to spend on your life? Then it breaks that down into how many deals do you need to close in a year to reach that? Then it breaks that down into how many listings versus buyers do you need in a year to close that? And then it breaks that down into how many appointments do I need to go on in a year to close that? And then it breaks that down by month in how many appointments per month do I need to go on? And you'd be very surprised how quickly 200,000 profit, 100,000 profit, not even gross, not counting, what's that called, or including commission splits and taxes and all those things, 100,000 in the bank translates to 5 listing appointments a month. So definitely check out the Career Growth Initiative with your Market Center leadership. That's all I'm going to say about that. Let's go back over here to my referrals. So this is the referral system. It's a fairly new tool from KW International. It's just a couple months old. I learned something cool about it a couple of weeks ago, that from conception to implementation, the system only took 90 days. So that was pretty cool. This is how agents can find each other to send business to if they don't work in a particular area. So say I'm in Kansas right now. Say I'm practicing in Kansas. I'm not an agent. I don't practice, but say I was, and I had this client that was moving from Kansas to Michigan. Just pick that out of the air. And I don't work in Michigan, and I don't really know anybody in Michigan. So I can look for agents that are in Michigan and look at their production, look at their bio, look at their stats, and say, okay, I think this person would handle my client well, so I'm going to send them this referral for this person that's moving to Michigan. That's the basic system for referrals, rather than depending on just a white pages search and searching through all the 177,000 KW associates that there are. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that system here. Before we do, I do want to pause for another second or two. Are there any questions? Again, if you want to ask me questions, up here at the top of your screen, you've got these 5 buttons. If you'll click on your speech bubble, that'll pop up the chat window. And if you have a question, type it here in this box and send it to me. All right, while I'm waiting on those questions, we'll go ahead and move forward. And you can ask questions about, what we're about to cover, about referrals, or you can ask about anything that we've already covered. Oh, you know what? I accidentally skipped something, so we're not doing as great on time as I thought. I want to cover the search here in KWConnect. So let's go back to our KWConnect homepage. Searching is very, very important in KWConnect, but it's not the most intuitive thing to use. You can search for all kinds of things in KWConnect that relate to conducting your real estate business. You can search for things like listing presentation. You can find templates from KW International, from other associates that have shared theirs. You can search for scripts. You can search for fsbo scripts, buyer scripts, seller scripts, friends and family scripts, that kind of thing. You can search for, I'm not an agent, so I don't even know what to search for, but things like sharing your app as your e-business card. I'm sure there's something like that here in KWConnect. You can search for, let's see, IDX. If you don't know what IDX is and you haven't worked with us and we haven't set that up for you, you can look for IDX. There's all kinds of things about using, about being a real estate agent conducting your business. So we're going to search for fsbo script because that's an example that I thought of. So fsbo script. So by default, this is going to show all content types. So this is going to be documents, it's going to be links, it's going to be, what am I going to talk about? Videos, it's going to be courses, pages, all of that fun stuff. So up here at the top of the list, this is showing newest first by default. So this is the most recent thing that anybody has uploaded as far as fsbos. So if I click on this here, this is a, looks like a Word document probably. So if I download this, oh, he's got a full description here. This might actually be what's in his Word document. Let me open this here. Okay, let me move this up here. There you go. So this is, okay, so this is for clients that you are working with, clients that have decided they want to work with you and they want to stop getting calls from other agents. And so when I list my home, I will list with so-and-so of Keller Williams Realty and then repeat the script and hang up, basically. So that's what this guy has to say about working with fsbos. There's a lot of other content in here. Like I said, this is doing newest first by default. You can change this sort to be relevance. So here's a door knocking fsbo script. Those words that we search for are particularly in there, exactly fsbo script. We can do highest rated. So this is going to have the most hearts here, right? Yeah, so the most hearts here, this Matt Feddick, apparently he's a high producer and a lot of people like his content. This is his initial fsbo script. So you might want to look at what Matt Feddick says and see if that works for you. You can also do it alphabetical. Not sure why you might want to do that. You can also do oldest first. You can also switch between video, audio, users. Apparently, if there are users that do a lot of fsbo stuff, maybe. I don't know what happened here. I think it broke. Users? Okay, so maybe that doesn't work there. Okay, also links to external resources. Apparently nobody has shared that. So you can find fsbo stuff there. You can find listing presentation. Does anybody want to send me over an example of something that we can search for? Anything like that? Give you guys about 10 seconds for that. All right, it looks like we're not getting any questions there. So we're going to move on to referrals. So let's click on my referrals here. Go back over to this section. If you do have additional questions about that, feel free to send them over in the chat window later or send us an email at support@scottleroymarketing.com. So here's our referral section, and to continue working here, I'm actually going to split my screen here between Scott and me. Scott's on the left, I'm on the right. Going to go to my referrals here on my side. And neither of us are agents, so we don't actually have referrals to work with. So there's no need to send us any referral network requests. It's not a social media site. We don't need to be friends with you. You don't need to be friends with us. We can't work with your clients. We're not going to send you any clients to work with. No need to connect with us on the referral network. No point. Where was I? So here's Scott. Here's me. So to begin with, the referral network is a hand-picked list of agents that you believe you are actually going to do business with, that you might send or receive referrals from. So this is not going to be adding every single person in your office or everybody in your region or trying to find as many people in KW to add. It's not a popularity contest. It's not social media. It's not about the number of quote unquote friends or likes that you have. This is your hand-picked list of people that you do want to do business with as far as referrals go. So what am I trying to say? Say I were an agent. You've never heard of me. You don't know what my production is like. You don't know what my personality is like. You don't know how I handle clients or anything like that. You've never worked with me in the past. I probably would not be in your referral network unless maybe we had met in person at Mega Camp or at Family Reunion, or we used to work together at another office or something like that, or maybe in another brokerage. So unless you are confident that you actually want to work with this person, you don't need to add them to your referral network, and you don't need to accept every request that you get either. So like, let's see, Gary Keller, no point in adding Gary Keller to your referral network. You don't know him. He doesn't know you. He's not going to accept your referrals, that kind of thing. And Gary's not going to send you any referrals either. He's going to do his own business, or he's got actually probably a team of 100 people that do it with him. Anyway, where was I? So not a popularity contest, not social media. It's your hand-picked list, and it should be relatively short. It's not supposed to be 100 people long. It's supposed to be maybe 20 or 30-ish, depending on how much business you do and how much you refer out to other people. So to add people to your referral network, people that you do know about, people that you do want to work with, you would click on your red Grow My Network button here. So this is Scott's side. So actually I need to maximize this again. So this is what your search looks like. You've got several options on this page. To start with, we're going to search for a zip code. So 90210. 90210 is Beverly Hills. Well, okay. We're going to search for Beverly Hills. Okay, so in Beverly Hills, over here on the right, eventually, I know there's going to be a lot of agents in Beverly Hills. I shouldn't have done this search, actually. Lots of agents in Beverly Hills. So many agents in Beverly Hills. 1,191 agents in Beverly Hills. So maybe something smaller. Maybe we'll do Dayton, Ohio. Most recent market center I work directly with. Okay, 229 in Dayton. There are actually 2 offices in Dayton, so that's not surprising. But there's a lot of agents in Dayton. You can filter this down further by closed units. So say I want to look for someone to handle my referral who has had at least 5 closings in the last 12 months, whether it's buyer side or list side. So I'll filter that. So now there are only 79 agents in the Dayton area that have had at least 5 closings in the last 12 months. And okay, I want 3 of those closings to be seller side. So I'm going to do that there, 3, filter. So now there are only 51 agents in this area that have 5 closings last year, and 3 of those were seller side. And then I want them to be mastery clients. I want them to be in coaching. So I'm going to filter that. And there are only 3 agents in this entire area that meet all those criteria. They've had at least 5 closings in the last year. They've sold at least 3 listings, and they are in mastery coaching with some kind of MAPS coach. So you could contact Richard Lee, or I don't know how to pronounce that name. Oh, that's down in Cincinnati, so this is a bigger area than I thought. Anyway, so now what you could do is invite Richard to your referral network, and he would decide whether he wanted to accept that or not. To show you what that process looks like after you send that invitation, I'm just going to search for myself. Remember, I'm logged in as Scott here, so I'm going to search for me. Oops. There we go, Robert Greenstreet. My market center is in New York, PA. So if I click on this plus sign over here, that's going to send a referral network to me. So I'll send that invitation. And then I have the opportunity here now, once I've sent that invitation, to send a referral. Or Scott has the opportunity, once he's sent that invitation, to send the referral to this person. I'm not going to send a referral right now, but this is basically what it looks like when you send a referral to anybody. Now, initially, when this system first came out, you could only send referrals to people that were already in your referral network. And that makes total sense to me. But apparently enough agents wanted to be able to send referrals to people that were not in the referral network, which I don't understand what the point there is. But enough asked for that now you can send a referral to anybody. So you don't necessarily have to send it to this person that's listed here. You can search for someone else. I'm going to search for Chris Heller. Okay, let me just try Heller. Any in-network agents. Okay, my bad. So this right here is only searching in-network agents. But if I were to search for Chris Heller here, Chris Heller, he's in San Diego. I can send him that invitation, and then I can send him that, referral request to send him my client to work with. Not actually going to do that, but it's not very hard to do. And then also, let me remove this filter here. Before we leave this map page here, remember those 51 agents that have at least 5 closed units and 3 of those were listings? I can broadcast this referral to everybody that meets these criteria, all 51 of these agents. So I could click on this and I could put in my referral information about this client. Everything below this blue box is going to be kept private until you say, okay, this person that responded to this broadcast referral gets to work with this referral client, and then it will share this contact information for the client. But first you start off with, is this a buyer, seller, or renter? What referral fee you're offering to this agent that you're sending the referral to, how long they have to accept this, and then the price range that your client is looking in to buy or sell or rent or whatever. And that's all they get initially. And everybody on this list, all 51 of them, will get this same information. And then whoever responds either first or with the best credentials or the best, I don't know, message to you, you can award that referral to so-and-so. So for this situation, a good rule of thumb is you maybe want to give them 10 or 12 hours to respond, because you don't want to leave this out there, all day if you're really looking for somebody to take this referral right away. And then if they haven't responded in 10 hours, they miss out, and you give it to one of the people that has responded. I'm not sure. I don't know how to show you how this works, because I don't have a way to send this to just myself. I don't have any production. I don't have anything to filter by, so whatever. Okay, so once you've got people in your referral network, if I go back to my referrals here, this is going to show you your referral network. I'm going to move this over here. I have more people in my referral network than Scott does, because I was playing around with it earlier in the system here. Let me refresh my page here so that I can see Scott's invitation. So that's going to be here under pending invitations. You'll also get an email notification about this, and you'll get a notification in Kelly when you get a request for a referral network or when someone sends you a referral. So I'm going to go over here. And these are all the requests that I have received that I have not yet responded to. So these people that I don't know why they sent me requests. I can ignore those. And then I've got Scott, theoretically. There he is. Scott down here. Apparently this is alphabetical. I can accept Scott's request. So now if I go back to my network, Scott will be in that network. And here he is right here, alphabetically. And if Scott goes to his network, if I refresh this here, Now I'm in Scott's network as well, and we can send each other referrals this way. And you can also do that through Kelly. Definitely check out our class from last week. So if I'm sending a referral to Scott, remember this is me, this is Scott, I'll click send a referral. And this is what that looks like. It's the same thing that you saw when we were on that search page as well. Is this a buyer, a seller, or a renter? By the way, all of the information on this form is required. You do have to have a price range. You do have to have a time frame. You do have to have some notes in here. Everything is required. So I'm going to say this is a seller that I'm going to refer over to Scott. Maybe it's in my old hometown that I don't practice in anymore, but I still keep in contact with people over there because real estate is a repeat and referral business. So they want to sell their house, but I'm not in that area anymore, but I know Scott is, so I can send him this seller referral. I'm offering a 25% referral fee, but I can drag that up or down as I see fit. So I'm sending him the referral. So I'm requesting, say, 60% of his commission as my referral fee. That is ridiculous. That's absolutely out of line. But I'm going to show you what it looks like on his end and how to counter that. So I'm going to leave that at 60% there, and then I'm going to give him, 4 hours to accept it, or up to 4 days, 96 hours. Leave that there at 12. So here's the price range that they're hoping to sell in, $220,000 to $250,000. Their name, Joe Smith. Oops, Joe Smith. Location is Little Rock. Arkansas is AR. Their email address. This has to be a valid email. Oops, that's not right. And then their phone number. And then how soon are they looking to sell? 1 month, 3 months, 6 months, or some other number of months. I'm going to do 1 month. And then notes. This is my great aunt who loves to pinch cheeks and has 2 corgis. Who has been in her house for 40 years and is moving to assisted living, something like that. So we'll send this the referral. And now if I come over to Scott's and refresh that, now I've got a waiting response right here, up here on the top of my dashboard. It's going to show, that would show on my side too as well. In fact, let me go back to my referrals here. That shows as a waiting response for me too. So I'm going to click on that on Scott's side. And so here's the details of that referral. This icon lets me know that it's inbound. That means it was coming in to Scott. And if I click on a waiting response here on my side, this icon lets me know it was outbound. It's coming out from me to Scott. So Scott has the option to accept this referral as is. He can counter with a different referral fee. He can reject this if he doesn't want to work with this, which I wouldn't want to work with this lady either. And we can view the activity log for this referral, which doesn't have anything in it just yet. So I'm going to counter this on Scott's side. 60% is a ridiculous referral fee. Let me drop that down to 20% because this lady is going to be difficult to work with. And I'll say that. This lady sounds difficult. I want to keep more money for working with her. Something like that. It's never actually going to say that. Agents are way more polite to each other, but this is just an example. So we'll counter that. So now if I refresh here on my side, I've got a counter here from Scott, and I can accept his counter. I can counter with my own counter, or I can reject this and say, no, I want more money for this referral. I'm going to find somebody else. So I'm going to go ahead and accept this just to show you what it looks like. Sure, that sounds fine, and then accept it. So now that referral is in Scott's, what's that called? Ballpark, Scott's court for him to work with. So if I refresh this now, it's no longer going to be under awaiting response. It's going to be under inbound for him. So awaiting response means it hasn't been accepted or rejected yet, and then inbound or outbound means it has by one side or the other. So now this is Scott's referral. He's working on this. He's say he's contacted this lady once. He's going to send an update to me to apprise me of what's going on with the situation. So called Her could barely understand from dogs in background, but meeting on Tuesday, and leave it at that. So we'll send an update. And then, I got this update over here on my side that'll show here as the last note up here whenever it decides to refresh. There we go. Here's that most recent note. I can send a note back to Scott. Says, yeah, give the corgis some peanut butter and they'll hush. Something like that. So now that's back over here on Scott's side. And you can go back and forth, sending updates to each other based on what goes on with the situation. We just got financing, we just got the listing agreement signed, we just got our first offer, just had an open house, that kind of thing. And then once you're all the way at the end, whether this actually comes to fruition and they actually sell, or if you decide to part ways or they decide not to sell or something like that, you would want to close this referral. And this is on the side of the person who received the referral from this person. So you want to tell them this did close, so it made it all the way through, it's sold, it's all taken care of, so all I have to do is click closed and submit. But if it did not close, you have to provide a reason why. So they decided not to move, the offers we were getting were not high enough, we decided to part ways because we didn't like each other, something like that. Oops. And now I submit that. So now if I refresh this back over on my side, it's not going to show on this page anymore. It's not going to show as awaiting response inbound or outbound. This is actually empty. It's not just waiting to load, I think. Okay, there we go. Awaiting response inbound or outbound. Instead, it's going to be here under closed referrals. And I've got a bunch in here because I've done this class a few times and experimented. So this is going to be a lost referral, and this is going to be the most recent one. No, sorry, the bottom one is going to be the most recent one. And you can either reopen that referral. I'm not sure what circumstance that would happen in, but you can do that. Or you can view the activity log for this referral, and the oldest one starts at the bottom and the most recent is at the top. So here's the initial referral sent from me to Scott. Here's Scott's counter. Here's my acceptance. Here's the note from Scott, here's my note to Scott, and then here's where it didn't close, and this is why. Okay, those are the high points of the referral system and of KWConnect. It looks like we're doing good on time, so I'm going to go ahead and drop it right there.